Facebook Live. Here we go. Um, I'm totally just laughing at myself because I've been sitting here for the last, I don't know, half hour or something, debating to put this out there. And um, and actually, it's been something that's nagging me for the last 6 months. Um, and reason why I'm hesitant is because I've been grappling with my ego and with my fears and with all the shit that we all grapple with. And um, and it's something that's very dear to my heart. So it's not just a sales pitch or a work video or this or that. Um, and so I've tagged a few of you in here that that knew Justine, and this post is going to be in regards to that. So if it's something you don't want to be a part of, please untag yourself. I'm coming from a heartfelt place when I put this out there, and I don't mean to upset anyone. Um, but for those of you that don't know what I'm referring to when I say Justine, I'll give you a bit of a backstory, and that will lead me into what this birthday wish is that I want to put out there, because I figure what better time to do this when I'm need the support of people to actually make this happen. And so if it's my birthday tomorrow and I'm going to have all these posts on my page, there's like 5,000 supposed friends in my uh, profile. Find the words, Matt. In my profile, then there's going to be a few of these birthday wishes on my page, which is fantastic. I love it. But I thought, well, let's intercept that and let's reframe it and let's see if we could do something with a greater impact than just giving me birthday wishes. So that's where I'm coming from. That's why it's happening right now. And it's happening late because I procrastinated and finally got the kids to bed and all that jazz. So here's the backstory, and I'll lead into what this is all about. I'll try and keep it brief, which I'm already failing, but there you go. So the story starts with this woman here. So this is my beautiful friend, Justine Damon Chick. And I have this picture because it helps me remember, and I use it in my workshops all the time just to connect with her, because she was one of the first people to actually hear me play the gong and encourage me to do the work that I do. So I owe a lot to her, and I know many of you that have experienced the work that I do also owe a lot to her. And not only that, but the work that she was doing and who she was as a person was just amazing. Many would say she's one of those angels on earth, and she just had this huge heart. She had this love and this kindness that exuded out of her. That she would go up to a total stranger and treat them with as much love and respect and kindness as many of us would to the ones that are close to us. And she was just that kind of person. And so it was kind of, I guess, ironic, is that the word? Tragic, horrible, shocking in the way that she transitioned out of this world. As many of you know, you may have heard this story a couple years ago, 2017, it was in July. She's in Minnesota. She called 911 to get the police there for some kind of disturbance that was happening behind her house. And one thing led to another, and she ended up getting shot by the officers that came to that call. Now, I don't want to go into all the details. You can Google the information. It's all written down there as to what's happened. And it shocked many of us, and it was horrible, and it was tragic. And things progressed from there. And as our system is designed the way that it is, that officer was taken to trial and was charged with murder. And he was sentenced to 12 and a half years. And the family was rewarded $20 million for the death and the murder. And that's the justice system, and I see the value in that, and how important that is to have that in place. And grateful in some ways that that's happened in that way, and also a bit torn in myself, as I think many of us that knew Justine are as well, in that the kindness that she stood for and who she was as a person and what she believed, she would be the first one to forgive that officer for shooting her. I mean, really, she would. And the thing is that it's like that, you know, that the money and that the time. Now he's lost 12 and a half years of his life now because of it, and it's like an eye for an eye kind of mentality. And when I, you know, watched his statement after he was charged, and to see him and his there's so much fear and so much sorrow and so much pain in him. And I thought to myself, you know, I went through all my emotions and things about that verdict and everything that happened, losing my friend and all that. And then I got to a place where I was like, well, you know, past the anger, past the pain, past the hurt, past the grief, all that stuff, what would justice look like? You know, what would true justice look like in this situation? And I sat with that, because it's one thing to bitch and moan and be upset about it. And I thought, what would true justice look like? And it was that moment that I saw Officer Noor give his statement and see the pain and the hurt and how it didn't just destroy one life now, and you know, the lives that were impacted by Justine's relationship, but also him, and then the lives that were connected to him have been affected as well. And so I saw it was this moment, I saw this fear, and I thought, oh, what actually caused the shooting? You know, right or wrong, good or bad, was it his fault, her fault? What, you know, it just doesn't matter that. It was like, what was the basis of it? Come back, come back. What was it? It was fear. There was fear. There was fear in that moment when Justine called for 911, something was going on. It was fear when the officers arrived. There's fear just infused in our society and everywhere. And so do you combat fear with money or with sentencing people to imprisonment? Is that how you combat fear? Is that how you resolve fear? No, not at all. Because fear leads to anger, leads to violence, leads to all these things that we keep perpetuating, which is this idea of duality and separation and all the stuff that we want to move out of. So how do we counteract that? And we counteract that with what I would say is love or kindness. And then that's when it hit me. I was like, oh, that to me would be justice. Not $20 million, but let's say 20 million acts of kindness. Okay, like obviously there's never going to be justice in something like this. It just, you know, and life isn't really just if you look at it, because, you know, we're all going to end up dead eventually. But, you know, thinking, how can you counteract something tragic like this? And to me, that would be a wave of kindness. And I feel that that resonates and is more aligned to who I know Justine to be. And so I thought, what would 20 million acts of kindness do to the world? Would that impact it in a positive way? Of course. Would it be enough to create a momentum that would actually change the world that we live in? I don't know. But it's worth a try, isn't it? And then I was grappling with this. I wanted to share it. I wanted to just post and put it out there and be like, yeah, let's do this. Let's go. And like my crazy wild dreamer in me and hopeful, just let's dive in head first kind of personality went for it. And then I thought, oh, fuck, fear and insecurity. And what if nobody gets it? And what if nothing happens? And so I started doing it on my own. And every day, well, most days, I would do an act of kindness. And I know we're all doing kind things all the time, but it's like I did it just with that in mind. Like, this is for Justine. This one thing that I'm doing, whether it's for myself, whether it's for someone else, whether it's for someone that I just really can't stand, I did it for Justine. And it was it was mind bending, because it wasn't only that then that made me feel good, as it does, and then the person that the kindness was offered to felt good as well, obviously, two people. But I started to then observe more kindness in my life. And it's like I'd catch it out the corner of my eyes. I'd see it between different interactions on the bus, or at the beach, or all around me. And it was like, wow, I started to shift my vibration. And that maybe, I don't have 20 million days left to actually do the 20 million and make that happen. But maybe if we all kind of got behind it and did 1, 2, 3 acts of kindness, a few of us, maybe we could start a ripple effect and create some momentum. And that not only, it's like this synergy happens. It's like not only do the person doing the act of kindness or receiving the act of kindness, but also witnessing the act of kindness get the benefits, but there's also then a shift within our consciousness that actually ripples out into the world, if that makes sense. So I could go on for days about this, and that's what I do anyway for work, but this is my birthday wish. My birthday wish is, before you put that post on my page, it says, hey, happy birthday. And, I do love those too. You can do that as well. But before you do that, take a moment and do an act of kindness for somebody. And let's make it for my birthday for Justine. All right. So that it's like squished into the next 24 hours. So it's not like, oh yeah, 2021, I did an act of kindness because Matt said so back in 2019. No, let's do it today. Right. And if you're too busy to do an act of kindness, do it for yourself, right? Just be kind to yourself, because I could totally hear Justine saying this. She say something along the lines of, be kind to yourself first. And then once you have that kindness in yourself, then you'll have the capacity to give kindness to somebody else. You're not going to be able to give kindness to somebody else if you don't have it in yourself first, right? So you give it to yourself first, then you give it to someone else. And then when you get really good at this shit, that's when you're able to give that kindness or give love to those people that you just can't stand. And that was the type of person that Justine was. And to me, that would be the greatest birthday gift ever, to see this post just through the ethers here, through the internet. So if you're aligned with what I just said, click like, share it, tag all your friends in this, do whatever it takes to get this out there, because bottom line is, we need more kindness on this planet. So however that looks to you. And yeah, well, I made it through that without totally bawling my eyes out. So that's a good thing. And yeah, appreciate you for dropping in here. And that's all I have to say about that. All right. See you guys.